start of the federal budget year. A shutdown will effectively begin at 12:01 a.m. It is impossible to predict how long a shutdown will last. The Democratic held Senate and Republican-controlled House are working on vastly different plans to avert a shutdown. And House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is struggling to win any support to keep the government open. That's why millions of Americans are bracing for a stoppage that could last weeks.
Essential workers will continue working without a paycheck.
Millions of federal workers and military service members face delayed paychecks when the government shuts down. Non-essential employees are furloughed or temporarily suspended, while workers deemed essential would remain on the job but continue without a paycheck. It's even worse for government contractors because, unlike federal workers, contractors have no guarantee of getting back pay once the government reopens.
Through a previous call to action I created, the executive administration, President Joe Biden worked with former President Donald J. Trump to secure the border around Texas in 2024. The other surrounding borders around the United States of America lack constant, adequate protection.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here at a very busy Thursday night. The breaking news here in New York City after that deadly, unprovoked attack at a bus stop happened. But we do begin tonight with President Biden. He can now build more of the border wall, a major reversal from campaign for president saying he would never build more of the wall. Tonight, his Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, saying, quote, there is an acute immediate need to construct physical barriers and roads near the border. The numbers are daunting. More than 2.2 million migrants crossing the border in October in just the last year. Towns and communities along the southern border pleading for help. And now leaders in cities across the U.S., in New York City, have reported on the migrants sleeping on sidewalks. In Los Angeles, dealing with the flow of migrants too. Democratic mayors and governors called for federal action as well. This plan to now add up to 20 miles of new wall in Texas with money allocated back in the Trump administration in 2019. The White House saying by law that money must now be spent. The president is asked why now and will a border wall work? The answer tonight. The White House facing the reality. Immigration crisis. Democrats and Republicans in Congress have not come up with a solution either. Tonight is a new part of the wall and the deportations that will now begin. Maria Villarreal on the border in Texas tonight.
The border crisis, migrants released in Southern California.
Border Patrol agents releasing hundreds of illegal migrants onto the streets of Southern California.
And this comes, of course, as the fight over border security continues in Congress, as we were just mentioning. Fox News correspondent Bill Malugin is in San Diego tonight with the latest.
Today, the border crisis was dumped on Southern California's doorstep, hands of the federal government. Border Patrol mass released hundreds of illegal immigrants to San Diego's streets. Bus after bus arrived at a local transit station, releasing masses of men and women from around the globe who had crossed the California border illegally. And they plan to travel to blue cities across America. ¿A dónde vas en los Estados Unidos? Nueva York. New York. Going to New York. Atlanta. Atlanta. New Jersey. New Jersey. Chicago. Chicago. New York. After release, nonprofit volunteers helped direct the migrants to private buses that took them to the airport and other transit stations. Some decided not to wait and crammed into taxis. Most told us they're here to work, but one man from the West African country of Mauritania had other reasons. Why'd you come?
Because I'm not free in there, and I'm like homosexual, and they're Muslims, and they don't accept that in there.
So you get asylum.
Exactly.
Fox News did reach out to California Governor Gavin Newsom's office to get his reaction to what happened here in San Diego today. They responded by blaming Republicans for what they described as chaos at the border. They also added that California is, quote, a model of partnership for a safe and humane border.
Okay. In 2024, many undocumented people decided to trespass and protest on the university campuses around the United States, putting America's higher education level students at risk for attack. Homeless camps were built where federal aid and private money has been budgeted or spent for education, food, and shelter. Most of the funds are budgeted and planned for the hopes of being a productive member of society, and also a part of America's growth after the COVID-19 pandemic. The number of people currently enrolled at a university in America has declined for fall 2024 school year. Many students, including at the doctorate level, have been murdered, while undocumented migrants try to steal their credentials and impersonate a future American professional of the white collar American society.
7:53 now. We want to get back to that breaking news that we're following on the campus of Yale University. Pro-Palestine protesters are outraged there by the school's investment in military weapon manufacturers, and hundreds of students have been camped out for several days, and police have just moved in on them.
That's right. And now we're told that police have been taking a lot more action to move those protesters out, including, Olivia, you said they were breaking down the tents. Are they still doing that?
Well, I'll tell you that everything continues to be peaceful here. However, in the last 2 minutes, we watched the last protester be taken away by police. Now the cleanup is starting for these campus maintenance people as well as police officers. You'll see that there's black garbage bags. That is what they're filling right now with anything over there. Now, these students, they've been out here for days now. The university tells us that students got out here on Friday, and they have been here throughout the weekend. Now, we may still have some video we can show you from protests from just yesterday and Saturday. A lot has been happening in this area. We know that once...
I apologize. It looked like I could be being